Shalom and good day all, this is Healing29 back again for some DC reviews, and in these DC reviews I'll be covering Krypto, the last dog of Krypton, and last but not least, Superman Unlimited Issue 2. I'll now get things ready and organised for the first one that I'll be reviewing. So, starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? It does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next is the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as things begin with the story of Krypto, we of course start off on Krypton, and we get to see the family of Jor-El and his wife, and of course a very young Kal-El before he's sent to Earth. As the story progresses a little bit further, we get to see the dog being used as a bit of a test subject. And this would no doubt be a little bit of a reference as to when there was a bit of a space race happening as well. But in this case, it's done in a fictional story. And of course, we have the first dog sent to Earth. Well, the first Kryptonian dog that ends up being sent to Earth. And last but not least, towards the end, to which he ends up meeting up with a very young Lex Luthor. To which the Lex Luthor looks very much more like a Jimmy Olsen. That's the only thing I'd sort of call out on the art. They could have made it a Jimmy Olsen. I think that might have been a better idea. But for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next is the area of the story. Consists of time, location, and cast. First is the area of time, to which we didn't get anything in indication time-wise. The locations we got to see within the story were Krypton, Earth, and Metropolis. The cast of characters consisting of Krypto, of course, the Owl family members, Jor-El, his wife, as well as Kal-El, who later becomes Clark Kent, Superman, and last but not least, Lex Luthor towards the end. My overall rating is a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Superman Unlimited. So, as we move into Superman Unlimited, Issue 2, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? It does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10, because we do actually get to see some of these weapons being used against Superman, and that is why it actually gets the rating that it does. Next is the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as the story begins, we get to see some of the things that are happening over the world in relation to what happened to the last issue. And of course, we have a new nation that has come to power because of this Kryptonian, planet-sized Kryptonian landing on Earth. And of course, with it, they have practically become the DC's Wakanda. It's the only way to put it. And I wouldn't be surprised if this particular, the planet-sized Krypton, which sorry about that. I'm getting a little bit jumbled up in my words. That is my fault, because I'm trying to think about what I'm trying to say, but I also want to say things a little bit ahead of what I'm thinking. So of course they end up creating their own currency. They have their own location now, and yes, they are actually becoming wealthy because of the place of where it landed. And now Krypton is becoming almost unlimited in this particular region, and people are going to them. As we draw closer towards the middle of the story, we of course have Superman and Batman and members of the Justice League helping out in the situation, and they learn of some of the events that are occurring with also Superman 2 as he's getting a slight boost in his power of his encounter of what happened recently with the Kryptonian, with the Krypton falling from the sky. And I sort of have a bit of a suspicion that something opened up either in a universe or within this universe that caused it to head towards Earth. Whether we get to see that later in further issues, I'm not too sure, and I really hope I'm around to review them. And last but not least, we do see the return of the Toyman. For my overall rating of the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. Surprisingly, we did actually get a comic book reference to the first issue. So that was actually added in the rating. Next is the area of the times, which we learned that this is taking place in 1938. And we also have 3 days ago, which also takes place time-wise. Next is the locations. We get to see Metropolis, Gotham, Macovia, Simeon Island, and a couple of other places, the Watchtower, the Bronze Swan, and some other place, downtown in Metropolis. Cast of characters, we have Jack Ryder, Superman, Batman, and the Toyman. For my overall rating, I give a 6.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.